Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, I want to welcome everybody in today. Come on in and join us for Chainbreakers. This is the inaugural edition. The inaugural edition of Chainbreakers. This is a weekly message breaking off the chains that have us stuck in life. Come on in and join. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll give everybody a chance to come in. This is going to be a fantastic show. I hope you're ready for this. I hope you're ready for a fantastic, uplifting message. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, Chainbreakers, every single Saturday morning at 7:30 Eastern Time throughout the work week, we're going to bring you positive, uplifting, motivational messages. But 7:30 on Saturday is going to be a special day. This is going to be an in-depth opportunity for you to be able to get in and participate, to connect with other people here on #UpliftAndRise. And then during the week on Saturday, it will be short, little, brief messages, just help giving you an opportunity to uplift and motivate you throughout the day, throughout the work week. So welcome today. I want to welcome you here. Uplift, Uplift and Rise has been in place now for just over 1 month. And we've already just grown huge amounts. And I want to thank you for having people here, for inviting them in, for becoming part of this. We already represent or have members in 5 different countries around the world. 5 countries around the world. We are in the United States. We're in Canada. We're in Japan. We're in Kuwait. We're in Jordan. And across the United States, I'm not going to read all these because this will take a while. We're in 22 different states. So we are touching hundreds and hundreds of lives, and thanks to you and thanks to people like you, hopefully soon it's going to be thousands of people are going to be touched and joined and affected by this. So welcome to this group. I'm so encouraged by what I have seen. I have seen since this group started, people just reaching out, wrapping their arms around others, people sharing success stories in their lives, and people sharing some anguish, some pain, some hurt. I've seen at least 2 people that have admitted how they have been touched or they're being touched by cancer. And strangers have reached out to them in love and in passion. They've wrapped their arms around them. They have prayed for them. They have given them hope and uplift. This is what community is all about. And if you agree with me, just reach down, hit these likes, hit these share, hit these loves, and just, let's see it all rain in here, guys, because this is going to be fantastic. So who am I? I'm no preacher. I'm no multi-millionaire. I'm not anything necessarily really even special. Who am I? I'm you. I'm broken. I've been beaten. I've been torn down. Yeah, I've had my successes and I've had my failures. I've been married and divorced twice. I've been married now again, and my wife Patty and I have, between us, we have 6 children and 4 grandchildren. And today I've got a fantastic life, one that I enjoy with all of my heart. I've been successful financially several different times, and I have to say that several different times because I've also seen it taken away. I've put my trust in the wrong people. Maybe that's been you too. I have but like you, I want more out of life. I'm tired of struggling. I know that like you, there's something calling deep inside. Something greatness just waiting and wanting to break out, but maybe you don't know how. You don't know how to change your life. Well, you've probably heard the adage, change your thinking and change your life. Today, we're going to do just that. We're going to help you change your thinking. Before I get into this message, though, what I'd like you to do is just reach out, get down on that share button, and click on that share button and share this out to your friends. Let them know that this is going to be something that's going to help them as well. Put a little message in there, share it out, and just let everybody come in and join, because this is going to be something. So over the years, I have heard people say lots of different things about themselves. I've heard, I'm not very smart. I can't do that. It's not for me. If only I had, or maybe then if only I hadn't, I would, but I don't know how. I want to make something different in my life, but I don't know what it is. Well, if you've heard the message in the Bible that says God will give you the desires of your heart, Jesus is not Santa Claus, folks. This is not going to just necessarily be given to you. What this is he is going to put those desires into your heart of what his plan is. And I ask you to just deep and look closely at that and reach out for it in your life. So those messages that have you believe who you are, what you can do, what you can't do, what has necessarily happened to you. Sometimes people have been broken down, they've been divorced, they've battled addictions, they've got failed relationships, maybe they've been abused, maybe they've been physically afflicted, maybe they've gone through sickness and diseases like cancer, maybe they've lost a parent, a friend, a spouse, a child. One thing I know is I touch people and I see people every single day that have been beaten and worn down by life. And I'm no different. And I doubt that you are either. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of those things that have affected us and change the way we look at them. So think of all those messages. Can you honestly sit here and tell me that you love yourself? And if not, why not? If not you, then who? So what is it that you don't like? Is it that I'm not very smart? I'm not very strong? I can't do that? Who told you that? Who told you those things? Was it your parents? Even as a small child, everything we learn directly from our parents. But think of yourself as a parent. Have you been the perfect parent to your children? Well, guess what? Our parents aren't any better than what we are. They learned from the same kinds of places that we did. They've made the same mistakes. They are broken people too. So I hate to tell you, but your parents aren't perfect. So why should you necessarily believe what they've told you? Who told you? A friend? A spouse? A boss? Usually those kinds of messages come in anger or hurt or pain. Have you ever said things that you've regretted saying to others? I'll bet you have. Who told you those things that tore you down, that really hurt you deep inside, made you start questioning every friend, every relationship that you had, who you can put your trust into? Who told you those things? Well, I want you to take a look at these things for a second. One of a very, very popular movie that was out there, The Matrix, had the choice of choosing the red pill or the blue pill, right? One would be able to keep him in a fantasy like Alice in Wonderland, but he never really knew what was real. Or he could take the other one and he'd wake up back in his own bed and back in reality again. Which pill did he choose? Which pill would you choose? Well, here's an earth-shattering thing. What is reality? Have you ever been or seen or heard about an accident that have had a lot of different witnesses, and when witnesses are questioned, every single person, every single thing that is repeated back, it's a different story. It's a different version. It's a different variation. Well, I want you to think about your own physiology for a second. Do you realize that everything about your personality is processed in your brain? But yet, in our brains, it's not something our brains don't actually see. There are electrical impulses that come from our eyes that our brain then has to take those electrical impulses and process them. Our brain doesn't hear. Again, the eardrum, the inner ear, creates electrical impulses that our brain processes and then tells us what that reality is. Our touch, our taste, all of our senses are electrical impulses that our brain has to transfer and create what reality is. So what is your reality? What are you processing? Again, it's change your thought, change your thinking, and change your life, people. It's the way we process things, the way we think about things suddenly has a whole new meaning. If I reached out and smacked you hard on the back, what would be your first reaction? Shock, pain, hurt, mad? Would you be mad? What if I told you there was a huge bee on your back that was getting ready to sting you? A little different. Now, would it be relief? Sometimes it's just simply the perspective that we have to look at that makes the difference. I was reminded yesterday, and I'm going to pull it up really quick, of a passage out of the Bible. It's out of John 5, and it's a story of the healing at the pool. There had been a great number of disabled people that used to lay there, the blind, the lame, the paralyzed. One man had been an invalid for 38 years. And when Jesus saw him lying there and he learned that he'd had this condition for a long time, he asked him, "Do you want to get well?" Let me ask you, do you want to get well? Do you want that difference in your life? The invalid turned around to start making excuses to Jesus. But yes, he wanted to get well. What did Jesus tell him? Get up, pick up your mat, and walk. He'd been an invalid for 38 years. Get up, pick up your mat, and walk. God does not change things in our life simply because we want him to. God simply doesn't turn around and give us miracles because we want him to. No. God gives us the ability to create our lives. God never created a table. God never created a chair. God gave us a tree. God gave us ingenuity. He gave us talent. He gave us the ability to take those things and make something of our lives on our own. When Moses led the Jews through the desert for 40 years, and God finally brought them to the promised land, what was his instructions? He still had to wipe out 31 kings. It wasn't a gift. They still had to work for it. And they compromised. Are you compromising your talents? Our talents, our thoughts, our ingenuity, our intellect are gifts from God. And what we do with them are our gifts back to him. How are you using your talents? Talents and gifts. How about the story of the talents? To one, he gave 5. To one, he gave 2. To one, he gave 1. The man with 5 talents made 10. The one with 2 talents made 1. The one with 1 talent buried his away. Is your talent buried away? Is it unused? Is it unwanted? Is it going to waste away? What are you doing with your gift, with your talent? Here's the interesting thing. What did he do? He again turned around and rewarded the man who had 5 and now had 10. He rewarded the man that had 2 and now had 4. But what did he do with the one who'd buried his away? He took that gift away from him and gave it to somebody else. So why are people so much more successful than others? Have they been given more? What did God do? He rewarded the same. 5 became 10. 2 became 4. It's a 100% increase. But they kept doing more and kept doing more. And he took the talent of the one and gave it to somebody else. Was it the man that had 2, the man who had 5? Is your gift now going to be taken and given to somebody else because yours is being wasted away? I don't want you to do that at all. I read another story that I'd like to share. It's a man in Indianapolis. This happened a year ago. Dr. Louis M. Profeta is an emergency physician at St. Vincent's Hospital in Indianapolis, as well as a clinical instructor of emergency medicine at Indiana University and Marian University Schools of Medicine. He writes and speaks publicly about medical and health issues, including a 2014 award-winning essay. Why is it I want to tell you about him? Because of his story. He went back to his alma mater, his high school, to give this story. I got an F in high school chemistry. I got an F in algebra. And a bunch of C's and a bunch of D's. And if it weren't for Jim and King's Court Singers, I doubt I would have gotten any A's. I played the trumpet in the band. Well, actually, I was the second to the last trumpet, which means I played exactly 2 notes of every song. No parent ever uttered the words, Louis Profeta made honor roll. Why can't you? Because he wasn't a great student. In fact, what he thought he was an athlete, and that he was going to compete in college. But it didn't turn out like he'd planned. He got hurt in a fall and actually broke his neck, spending several weeks in the hospital. And all of those dreams were over. Poof. It's amazing how quickly a door can close in your life. It's also incredibly magical how quickly they can open if you are open to the possibilities that arise from failure and the word no. It's amazing how strong and fragile we are as human beings, often at the exact same moments in time. He laid there in the hospital and looked around at the doctors and nurses and thought, this stuff is kind of cool. They make pretty good money. I think I can do this. This is a guy who barely graduated high school. What's he doing now? He's back in the very same town that he grew up in. He's an emergency room doctor to the very same people he went to class with. How do you think you remember him? They remember him. There's an interesting thought that he also gives in here, because he says frequently he has patients come in and ask, I thought you were an idiot. Can I see that diploma? What he says is he paid attention in class on one occasion. He had one teacher, a science teacher in 7th grade. And he pretty much liked hanging around troublemakers and people like him. And this teacher pulled him aside and said, listen, you're smart. You do know that, don't you? Why would you let those other kids drag you down with them? Well, the same can also be said true the other way. People can also help lift you up. Are the people you're hanging around with, are they dragging you down or are they lifting you up? Are they an anchor in your life or are they a ladder? I want to leave you with a couple different thoughts here. One is a verse for the day a friend has shared this morning, and it comes from Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And I want to leave a final thought and a final prayer that another friend shared, that I hope this is for you. And he said to me, daughter, you are in a desert, but I will send rain. There is aching, there is wandering, but my love will come in rushing. You'll be swept up in waves of grace. You'll have no idea just how far I'm going to carry you. If this has touched you today, again, hit those likes and those loves. Let it rain down in here. Hit that share button and send it out and share this message with others. Invite them to be part of this group, because you are the one that might help your friend. Are you to them going to be that anchor that weighs them down, or are you going to be the ladder that helps carry them up? It's up to you who you want to be. It's your decision. It's your choice of way you see your reality. What is your reality to you? So here's what's going to happen moving forward. This is called Chainbreakers because what I'm hoping these are doing are breaking these chains that hold you down, that hold you in place. We're going to go lots of different directions with this. I've got enough material already to last for months. So every single Saturday morning at 7:30, you can expect a little bit more of an extended message like this. And then during the work week, there'll be little thoughts, little things for the day, a positive, uplifting, motivational messages. So tune in at 7:30, Monday through Friday as well. But those will be short little 2, 3, 4, 5 minute messages, not very long. I hope you've enjoyed what this is today. And I hope you reach out. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks a lot, and I appreciate you joining us today on Chainbreakers here on #UpliftAndRise.